Welcome back. Well, today is Wednesday, and that means it's time for another Wild Wednesday.
Joining us this morning is Katie Crocetti, Education Specialist for the Great Plains Zoo. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
Katie.
absolutely.
Who do we have here?
Today we have Wright, the tiger salamander. He lives in our classroom at the zoo next to our other tiger salamander left. And so that's where they get their name.
Wow. So can you tell us, you were specific about wearing a glove. That's for his protection.
Yes, absolutely. So he is an amphibian, so that means they can absorb a lot of different things through their skin. That means that they have are a great environmental indicator. So if there is pollution or different levels of pH in the wild, amphibians see those effects first.
Talk about some of the features that kind of help protect him, if he's out in the wild.
Yeah, absolutely. So I cleaned him up for you guys today. He was covered in dirt when I took him out, but he will burrow underground is really how he stays the most safe. And he has that nice camouflaged color so that he doesn't really stick out much when he is in the wild.
Now, creatures like Wright, are you going to find them here in South Dakota naturally?
You can. So you can find tiger salamanders all over the continental U.S. They are the largest in the United States and second largest in North America. And he's about like 9 inches long when he's all spread out, and they can get bigger and smaller than this. He's about average size.
Talk about kind of what they eat and things
yeah,
like that.
So he's an insectivore, so he's going to eat bugs. He's a really good eater at the zoo. In the wild, they will eat any kind of bug or worm that they can find, but my favorite thing is their method of finding them. So after a rainstorm, they'll go up on the ground and they'll actually like tippy tap on the top of the soil to make the worms think it's raining again, so that they come to the surface so that they can eat them.
So smart.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, and so that's a few different types of animals do that, but it's an interesting adaptation for sure.
Do you tend to see them more like after a rainstorm? Or
Yeah,
like
for
that?
salamanders a lot. Yeah, I've never seen a tiger salamander in the wild. I usually see the little ones under a rock.
One.
Yeah. And so seeing a big one like this would be definitely like a big oh whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. And what kind of temperament does a tiger salamander generally have?
This is about what he is. And so he gets a little bit more excited when he sees food, for sure, when his keepers open the door and he is actively wanting the cricket or things like that. And so, yeah, he's just really chill, which is nice. I can't speak for all tiger salamanders, but for us, he does a really good job of just staying calm.
Now, if you ever have touched them, they're very smooth. So talk about how that kind of helps them.
Sure. So they are super smooth. It helps to get them really clean after being so dirty as well. And they can actually breathe a little bit through that smooth skin. And so when they are sitting in the water, they can move oxygen through that as well. So they don't need a ton to breathe. So that's why it's okay that they're underground so much.
And he is one of your education animals. If somebody wants to meet Wright,
absolutely.
Can they do that?
So we have lots of opportunities to do that. Throughout the summer, we'll have creature features, 11:15 and 1:15 with our junior zookeepers, and that's probably the best opportunity to meet him. Signing up for any of our classroom classes as well, you can take a peek. And then potential to see some maybe wild salamanders. We are doing a party for the planet this weekend, and we're going to do a Sertoma Park cleanup at the Butterfly House and pollinator garden at the zoo things. So
lots of great things.
Thank you for bringing in
yeah,
Mr.
absolutely.
Wright. Yeah. Mr. Wright. Stick around. We do have more after the break.